Where would
But-
be your like dream residency?
New York
can we
City.
stay here?
Yeah.
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 I like this hotel room. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but-
Hard Rock Hotel. Yeah.
Just
not
live
bad.
stream it, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? It's Kevin Kenny. This is a brand new Audacy check-in with Green Day, coming to you live from the Hard Rock Hotel in New York City. And that was Trey Cool. We can confirm that. What's going on, guys? Congratulations. We're doing this, of course, on album release day, and we really appreciate the time you guys are taking. And you guys have just been about everywhere. You got a show coming up in a matter of hours here in New York City.
Yeah, we played in the Subway the other day, and then we played Irving Plaza last night, and now we're gonna go to Rough Trade and play a rock and acoustic set, and yeah, we're really just this is one of the greatest days of our lives, I gotta say.
Yeah. As it is for the Green Day fans, of course, enjoying the new record.
Mm.
And I saw you do that with Fallon, of course, in the Subway, and I was like, well, that's a pretty unique show. But I got to imagine you guys had to play some really crazy venues when you were just starting out. Trey, didn't you book a gig somewhere like on top of a mountain?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Yeah, and it took a while to get the generator going, and it's like there's candles was kind of the lighting, and we had to break down a gate to actually get to the cabin, and there wasn't really a roof on it, but it rocked.
Was that the last time Trey booked a show? So you're talking about Saviors, of course. 15 great Green Day songs are now out in the world, fully available. And you were on Stern the other day, Billy, and you were talking about your love of Eddie Van Halen. I guess you had a moment with Eddie Van Halen where that was kind of beautiful, where he was saying, everyone thinks it's about the riffs and the guitar playing, but you get it, Billy. It was about the songs, and that's something you always understood. Is there a misunderstanding of Green Day? Maybe if that was a misunderstanding per se for Eddie, right, and his greatness and Van Halen's greatness, is there a misunderstanding that bothers you guys or you maybe get a kick out of about your band?
Growing up a punk rocker, I enjoy being misunderstood, so it's like, I don't know.
It's been good fuel, I think. If we're not understood, it's kind of like, okay, well, let's prove them wrong, know? And I mean, that's just like a band practice mentality. But it's fuel, man, and it's great. And we just love good songs, good melodies, If it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, you're doing something right.
Yeah, that's a good test. You talk about that fuel, Mike. I'm sure I speak for any punk rock fan. So much of the equation of punk rock, or large components of it, right, are piss and vinegar, which are so readily available when you're, young men, you're hungry, right? But of course, it's just like a natural course of life. You get successful, you have means, but you have families, and some of that just dissipates naturally, right? But you guys have seemingly never lost it. And this album right now, I mean, it's not a Xerox of Green Day. It is one of the best Green Day albums you guys have put out. How do you foster that fuel, though, as you get older?
Well, we have to be patient and wait for those songs that like are inspired, and they feel like it's vitality. Really, it's like I think it's like the eternal 16-year-old that just really wants to keep in your bedroom rocking out, playing air guitar, and it's like just that escape. I think music has always been an escape for me, and the great thing is I'm a fan of music, and I get inspired by what other people do, and that's what kind of creates the fuel to keep the band going and keeping us vital.
Yeah. Speaking of inspiration, I was reading your interview, Mike, with Rolling Stone, and of course one of the records you guys are going to be doing in full on this tour that's coming up with the Pumpkins this summer is American Idiot. And I was really struck by, and I want to make sure I get this right, but that sort of the aspirational aspect of the genre of hip-hop was sort of maybe an unintentional inspiration for the ambition of American Idiot?
I think it was sort of intentional in the sense of like we were just looking at, hip-hop artists, they're like, we're going to take over the world. We're going to reach for the stars. We're going to take over the world. That mentality is, whether you do it or not, the idea that there's no limit is everything.
Yeah. To add to what he was saying, there's certain creativity that in that time period that was really great, where like Eminem was using a different identity with Slim Shady. That's conceptual, and then there, which I thought was so cool, and then the Outkast record that came out at, around 2003 was just like, it felt like a concept record. Yeah. And so we were just like, there's that type of boldness and ambition that we wanted to come across in American Idiot.
Yeah. Well, before American Idiot, this is sort of like Green Day folklore. There was another record, right? Cigarettes and Valentines. And then this is a crazy story, Trey. I don't know if you want to tell it. Somebody stole the tapes, or what went down with Cigarettes and Valentines?
Well, I mean, you'd assume somebody they were just gone. So
With the
somebody
hard
probably
drives.
yeah, somebody probably stole them. Maybe didn't know what was on them and
Was
hawked
that
them
common?
No, not the rapper Common. He didn't do it.
Did Common do this?
Common did it. I've never heard that ever happening to anybody, but it was a bummer, for sure, because we put a lot of work into it. But at the same time, it was a blessing because we just were like, let's just start from scratch. Let's just try this over again. Maybe it's just the sign that maybe we made a crappy record and we should make a better one. So.
Right. Did any iterations of those songs, whether it's a bridge, a verse, an idea, make its way onto a Green Day song or album that did eventually see the light of day?
There was a lot of stuff that was on, I think, that were full songs from the original version of Homecoming that was on American Idiot. And we ended up using a lot of those parts and just kind of connected it together, which makes this sort of crazy suite, as they call it, of a song.
Yeah. People are thinking about those albums nowadays with the announcement you guys made this week of you're going to do Dookie in full. You'll also be doing American Idiot in full. When we as fans think back to those records, of course, our memories are the publicly facing entities of music videos and award show performances and whatnot. What are your memories, though, of that time? Was there an anxiety? You think about punk rock at that time and sort of the integrity and the connotations of sellouts and whatnot. Do you guys have, what are your memories of, let's say the Dookie vapor trail you guys got sucked up into?
Well, it happened pretty fast, after Woodstock. The Woodstock in '94, and then the Hat Shell, where we kind of shut down Boston by accident, and just sort of after that, it's sort of the crowds were bigger. Lollapalooza, we were the opening band, and we never seen this many people here this early. So
yeah, and Basket Case when it came out too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely it kind of kept, we put out Longview first, and then that was a song that got a lot of attention and did really well. Then we hit Basket Case, and it was just boom. And then we put out When I Come Around, and it was suddenly we were as big as the Backstreet Boys or something,
The song When September Ends, or Wake Me Up When September Ends. I was watching an old interview, and Billy, you were saying that was the first time you had ever really approached the topic of losing your father in music. And I'm curious, thinking back to that, was there something that may have happened in your life around that time that you sort of can go back to and say, oh, that was the moment I realized I was ready to talk about this? Or was it something that naturally came out of you at that time?
I think, the month of September was always kind of a downer for me, and I could never really figure out why. And then, that was the month that my father passed in 1982. So I was there was something about September, and then the more I thought about it, it was September is a sort of a strange year or strange month for a lot of people, because it's the summer's gone. People are going back to school, going back to work, sort of and it was all kind of, there was also the connection to September 11th. So it was, I just tried to kind of that sense of loss that, that the muse was for my father. And I think that song really connected to a lot of people. And I think it still does,
Yeah. Of course, there's a bit of at least thematically connected tissue to a song on this record, "Father to a Son." Mm-hmm. Of course, it's a very different song. But how would you compare the writing processes of those two things?
Well, when I came up with it, I had a demo of it with different lyrics, and then I made a demo, or not a demo. I played it in the studio, and Rob Cavallo and Trey heard me just sing the first couple verses, and they were like, "What is that? What is that?" They were like, I'm like, I don't know. You want to go there? I'm not sure. They're like, "Yes, we got to go there." So we got in the studio and we worked it out together, and David Campbell did beautiful string arrangement for it, and with Rob. And it really created a depth to the album where it's just it's just being completely 100% honest about struggle to be a father and doing the best you can, and dedicating it to your loved ones.
Yeah. Now, of course, you guys are hitting the road with the Pumpkins this summer. Huge tour. Do you guys ever think, like, maybe after this you'll get tired of the road? You might ever do like a residency? You see
Sure.
you see that happening a lot.
I mean, it depends on where. I don't know about Vegas.
Where would be your like dream residency?
New York
can we
City.
stay here?
Yeah.
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 I like this hotel room. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but-
Hard Rock Hotel. Yeah.
Just
not
live
bad.
stream it, you know?
That's
Yeah,
just sweet.
I think back. I think the Clash did like a residency at it was a place called Bonds back in the like very early '80s, and I think they played 20 nights in a row or something like that.
Wow.
So I mean, doing something like that, I mean, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Really cool. But I don't know. But I don't think like. If we're in Dallas, Texas, that people would get like, get your ass to Dallas, It's like, so.
Well, it's interesting too, though. It's like we also have a bit of us. It's like when you're like at that point, we'll look at that idea then. I mean,
Right.
with the new tour, we're gonna be playing because of the anniversaries for Dookie and American Idiot. You got a 30-year anniversary for Dookie, a 20-year for American Idiot. In a million years, I can't imagine. I couldn't have imagined us playing these two albums in full. And doing that, it started to marinate on it and go, that actually would be kind of an amazing thing, and it's once in a lifetime thing. So yeah,
It's going to be special this summer.
you
for
look
sure.
at things at the time, and your perspective might change on them. But no, we like to do different things and tear it up.
Yeah.
We'll play right here in this room.
Well, guys, thanks so much. We're out of time, but really, congratulations on Saviors, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, Saviors.
Time for
We're stoked.
Time for pillow talk.
Yeah.